Let's take a look at Aurora Innovations, the AI autonomous self-driving truck company that's making a lot of headlines here recently, and that some truck drivers are losing their minds over because they think this company's gonna come take their jobs. So let's take a look at its founders. Let's see what we can uncover of the people who founded this company, these tech geniuses that are building the impossible. All right, so let's start with the story with Aurora itself, its founders. Let's take a look at Sterling Anderson. He is one of the founders. This is the second co-founder, I think. Before he built this multi-billion-dollar AI company, this self-driving truck company, the government and Tesla accused him of running an undercover corporate raid and stealing proprietary technology from Tesla. And that's a great way to start the story, right? Oh yeah. So while Mr. Sterling Anderson was working for Elon Musk, he was Elon Musk's golden boy. He was running the entire Tesla autopilot program. And he looks like he got with Chris Urmson, the godfather of Google's self-driving car project, which later becomes Waymo. And they decided to start their own company. So while Sterling Anderson is working for Elon Musk, making millions of dollars, of course, he allegedly starts plotting with Mr. Google guy Urmson, and he is accused of allegedly downloading hundreds of gigabytes of proprietary top-secret autopilot source code onto his personal hard drives and poaching as many engineers as he could from Tesla. Tesla started an investigation and sued Mr. Anderson and Aurora, and they claimed that he wiped his iPhone and his laptop, deleted text messages to hide the evidence, and they settled in court. Mr. Anderson had to pay $100K to Tesla, and he had to open his doors for Tesla to audit them at any given time to make sure that they weren't there using Tesla's proprietary technology. Well, that's how it starts. That's how the company started, with a little bit of thievery, a little bit of... While Aurora is getting started, there's a lot of projects where they get started and all these headlines. They're working with Volkswagen to make autonomous driving. They're working with Hyundai to make autonomous cars. Then they start working with Toyota for autonomous cars. And do you guys see anywhere around Volkswagen, Hyundai, or Toyotas driving around with no drivers? This is back in 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021. I don't see not one Toyota Sienna driving around by itself. But hey, you guys think that they're gonna magically make a semi-truck that drives by itself, not counting the impossibility of that at all. But anyways, they failed at every single project they had. So then they pivot to trucking, because guess what? They were laughed out of the autonomous car driving scene industry. They were a complete joke. They pivoted to trucking, and they got a SPAC, SPAC, to get on the stock market. If you know anything about SPAC, that's a telltale sign that the company is probably a scam. Let's just say a scam. Okay, so that they get on the stock market and start pushing forward with autonomous trucks. Yeah, if they fail at 3 major self-driving car projects and then they pivot into trucking, and then everybody's scared because they read a headline. Like the latest headline from them is that they're doing a 500 truck contract with Hirschbach. Maybe you should read the article, because it says it's a non-binding memorandum. Non-binding. They're just talking about it. They're planning for the future, which ain't coming. I'll tell you that right now. This is a publicity stunt. Non-binding memorandum is basically a pinky promise. They're just pinky promising. This is a stunt. And then the other headlines are they're regulatory, whatever. Like, these companies have a lobbyist group. They have a press team. They have a press firm that's running their press for them. And meanwhile, last year, Sterling leaves Aurora. Out of nowhere, he just leaves. And people are like, what is going on? Why is this guy leaving? They were just announcing that they're putting their trucks on the Texas freeways. And this guy leaves, one of the founders of this company. He leaves and he goes and works for a GM. I mean, that kind of tells you a lot, but people don't seem to put the pieces together. If you believed in your product, and your product is going to change the world, literally. If his product, the self-driving truck, if it works, he will become like the Elon Musk of semi-trucks. He will be like a tech mega giant. The money he would make off this is unfathomable, is uncalculatable. But he leaves last year, and he ain't the only one that left. I think two other founders. I think one stepped down to a different position off the board and another one left. But okay, you guys just read the headlines and you think that this company is gonna change the world when they've been trying since 2015, 2016, and there's not one job lost from a self-driving truck. Yeah, so he ends up working for GM, and it comes out now that he's getting $40 million a year, or they give him $40 million to go there. They put him in charge of 20,000 employees, and the rumor is that he's being groomed to be the next CEO. Ain't that something? That money would be pennies, would be nothing if Aurora's technology was to work. So that kind of says a lot without saying nothing. And that says a lot. This guy leaves a company he founded, self-driving autonomous vehicle company. They failed at three projects with Volkswagen, Hyundai, Toyota, miserably fail, pivot to trucking, and now the founders are leaving when it's right when they're announcing that they're going driverless, right? They're announcing that they got it. They got their level 4 or 5, whatever the hell they're saying. Who cares? It's all nonsense anyways. Right as they're announcing this stuff, they're leaving. You guys might want to look at the founders of these companies before you just believe the headlines, because the headlines, they're selling a narrative. They're selling a narrative because the story has to be believed. That these people are not honest. They're not trying to build something. They have other motives, different motives. This is not the old times of the United States where a company made a great product, sold it, and that's how the company got rich. Those days are long gone. This is not an industrial economy anymore. This is a financialized economy now. Now it's a whole different ballgame. Wall Street runs the show, not the industrial giants of the past, not the Rockefellers and not the Carnegies and not the guys who built, America. Those guys, they got power, but not like the Wall Street does. Wall Street has all the power now.